Since I was a small child, I started having symptoms, random symptoms. First, it was my breathing. Whenever I would do exercise or any sort of sporting event, I'd become very short of breath and I felt like I couldn't catch my breath. Then, as time progressed, I started getting muscle pain and muscle weakness. I was told, oh, just growing pains. Little by little, things kept deteriorating. I was getting fatigue and headaches and just absolute exhaustion. And I was told, oh, that's what happens. You're a teenager. When I became into my 20s, everything was due to college, due to university. It's stress, 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 stress. And things became a little bit worse and worse. Finally, I was diagnosed with mitochondrial disease after my health did a catastrophic failure. I lost the ability to eat. I was just very, very sick. So let me explain a little bit to you about mitochondrial disease. So as the name implies, mitochondrial disease affects the mitochondria. The mitochondrion, its job in each cell is to produce energy. If you would like, you can think of mitochondria as little energy factories. It just produces energy, produces energy, produces energy, and that is its job. With mitochondrial disease, there are defects somewhere in that factory. Either something on the line is defective, or just the structure of the factory is defective. Something's defective, and if you relate that back to mitochondria, the mitochondria is defective somewhere. Your body just can't produce energy properly, and then this has cascade effects. It'll affect your muscles, I can't even think, I'm tired. Your ability to think. It'll affect your ability to think. It'll affect your organs, your liver, your kidneys, your heart, your lungs, all your different organs. So you might say, what are my issues? So let's talk about the biggest, most obvious one is my breathing. My diaphragm muscles are very, very weak, and they require me to have a tracheostomy tube and a ventilator. Now, I can breathe for a short period of time because mitochondrial disease, if you're not familiar with it, it's a lot of muscle pain, muscle weakness, especially for the mitochondrial disease that I have. It's mitochondrial myopathy. My muscles get very, very fatigued very quickly. So I can do something. For example, I can breathe, but I can't do it for long periods of time. Why? Because that muscle, after repeated use, will start to get very tired, very fatigued, and it can't sustain my breathing needs. Thus, I need a tracheostomy tube and ventilator. I have a cuff on my tracheostomy tube right here, and I can inflate the cuff. When I inflate the cuff, it creates a sealed circuit. Then the ventilator provides full respiratory support. This is really important, especially when I'm in a bad health flare, when I just don't have any energy. I can inflate the cuff. Then I don't have to worry about breathing. My body can use the energy that it has. Instead of using it for breathing, it can use it for other things, keeping my heart beating, fighting off infection, just anything that I'm going through. Also, it's very important to have the cuff for at night. When I sleep, I inflate the cuff. Then the ventilator does all the work of breathing. I can rest, I can relax, and then my body can use the energy. Instead of using it for breathing, it can use it to repair muscles, to just do all the repair things that it needs to do to give me a good night of sleep. And then I wake up in the morning and I wish I could be like, oh, I'm so refreshed. Yeah, I have mitochondrial disease. I don't think so. Mitochondrial disease, you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm more tired than I was last night. Oh. And that brings me to my next major symptom, fatigue and exhaustion. I can't even tell you. I'm always tired, always tired. And if you see me bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, it means either I had a lot of caffeine or I am just faking it till I make it. Why do I do that? Because really, if you're smiling, if you're happy, it makes you feel better. It does really make you feel better. What do I really feel like right now? Taking a nice long nap. Why don't I do that? Because I'd never film my YouTube videos ever. I would never edit. I'd never upload. I'd just always be sleeping if I actually did what my body wants it to do, which is sleep. Sleep, sleep, sleep. And it doesn't matter. Mitochondrial disease, you can sleep as much as you want. You still wake up tired. It can affect your vision. For me, I have double vision. My eyes do not align. And I don't want to say that because if you actually look, you can actually see my eyes do not align, and it makes me self-conscious. So stop looking at my eyes. Wait, no. Eyes up, eyes up. No, don't be looking. Eyes up. Don't be looking down. Eyes up here, people. Don't be looking. We go. Put the camera up farther. No looking down here. No looking down here. It is a rated G program. All right, so it affects your eyes. It can affect your tongue. I'm going to show you something, and this might be a little provocative, but I hope it's not. So my tongue is made up a lot of muscles, and your tongue, yeah, if it's like at rest, it should just be straight, and it should just do that. My tongue usually never does. It's like you can actually see the muscles just spasming and working like crazy. Let me show you. Yeah, can you see my tongue is just quivering? That's how my muscles are, and that's how a lot of my muscles actually are. They're just quivering. And sometimes, I mean, if you look at this hand, and you look at this hand, actually, this hand shakes a lot more. Yeah, that's tremors, shakes. Muscles are just like, that's what they do, because why? They're short on energy, so they're just shorting out. If it gets really, really bad, big muscle tremors, and yeah, cause a lot of pain, a lot of cramping. That's where electrolytes come in. So a lot of people have imbalances with mitochondrial disease with electrolytes, vitamins, minerals, you name it. A lot of people are short on them. So one thing with mitochondrial disease is your treatment option is supplements. That is really the only treatment option, except I will tell you, Bart's syndrome, congratulations. There is now a treatment for that. Hallelujah. One mitochondrial disease. One mitochondrial disease. And like, doesn't that work for yours? No. There are probably thousands and thousands of different mitochondrial diseases. They affect different things, different organs, different onset. Bart's syndrome. Finally, you have a treatment. The rest of us don't. So maybe in the near distant 100 years, we might have some sort of medical breakthrough, but in the meantime, we are just taking supplements, which is called the Mito Cocktail. Now you might think, oh, that's really fancy. What's it made out of? Basically, anything and everything. It's specific for every person. For me, it has CoQ10, levocarnitine, the B vitamins, all the B vitamins. I take a giant complex of B vitamins because in general, I need all the B vitamins to work. I also take vitamin K, I take selenium, vitamin E, vitamin D. I take a lot of things. And sometimes I just feel like I'm just taking pills all day. And then I also take a lot of herbs because I am very much into herbs. I have a lot of issues with my liver. My liver has been very, very sick in the past. And I take a lot of herbs, dandelion root, artichoke root, beetroot, milk thistle. So I take a lot of things to help my liver to keep that functioning. Also, I have issues with my kidneys. My kidneys, sometimes they work great. Most of the time they work great, actually. And then sometimes they don't work so great. Praise be to God, I've never been on dialysis. How else does mitochondrial disease affect me? Well, there's just other things that are wrong with me, and we're not really sure if they're mitochondrial disease related or just other things. For example, my pancreas does not work so well. I have chronic pancreatitis. Is that related to mitochondrial disease? We're not sure. Could be, possibly, not sure. Also have endometriosis. Endometriosis affects the female reproductive organs, and it just is unpleasant, painful, very painful. And if you want to know a deadly condition, that's for me, endometriosis. My endometriosis has tried to kill me a couple times. Almost was successful. And actually, I will say one time was pretty much successful. If God would not have intervened, I'd been dead. Endometriosis would have been the end of me. Good times. We don't know if that's related to mitochondrial disease or if that's just some other medical condition I also have. So I'm trying to think what else. Migraines, lots of migraines. Ringing in the ears. Hello? Someone's at the door? No? Phone ringing? Hello? Someone's there. Always ringing. I also get vertigo, and I actually found out this is my issue when I go on cruise ships. So I have issues with vibration, and it's not even like seeing things. It's just if you're in some place and my brain can't deal with that. It's just like I will fall over to the side, and I can't get up. I'm just like, I can't get up. I'm so dizzy. I found out that's vertigo. That's I sometimes just get bad bouts of vertigo too. I'm just like, nobody move. Why is everything moving? So that's vertigo, eyes. It doesn't affect my nose. It affects my tongue, like I told you. It does affect my teeth. There is a video out on my other YouTube channel how vitamin K has helped my teeth. And so apparently with mitochondrial disease, vitamin K is often very low. So I found out a couple years ago I needed vitamin K, and I started taking that, and my teeth that have been hurting for many, 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 many years stopped hurting. My teeth, they don't hurt anymore. Don't they look beautiful? Yes, they do. So they affect my teeth. So if I don't take vitamin K, it affects my teeth. I also have issues with psoriasis. Don't know if this is mitochondrial disease or not. My skin gets flared up. I often have chapped lips. They believe from psoriasis. I'm trying to work my way down here. I have a lot of neck spasms, tightness, neck tightness. Oh my goodness. I have so many muscle knots in my neck. Ooh, terrible, terrible. It keeps me up at night. I also have a lot of issues with my spine. Whether this is mitochondrial disease or not, we don't know. We don't know. Just a number of my levels in my spine. Arthritis, bad arthritis. Can't even move my lower spine. Nope, just have a straight back. Straight back, that's how my back is. You know, your back's supposed to curve. That's not how it's supposed to curve, but it's supposed to curve. There's the curve in your back. Isn't that gorgeous? Mine doesn't. Mine's just a flat back. Lost all curvature. They don't know if that's because my muscles are so tight and it's just causing my spine to lose the curvature, or if there's some other disease process going on. Like I said, it affects my liver, affect my breathing. My heart, it's also affected my heart. Won't go into details on that, but it has. Also, I have POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Whether that's related to mitochondrial disease or not sure. But POTS is under the umbrella called dysautonomia. Dysautonomia is present in about 80% of people who have mitochondrial disease. And the most common subset of dysautonomia in people with mitochondrial disease is POTS. So do people that have mitochondrial disease also have POTS? High likelihood, high probability, it messes up your autonomic nervous system. Is that the cause of my POTS? Could be, possibly, don't know. Lots of questions with my health. Let's see. Muscle pain, muscle weakness, tremors. Trying to think anything else. I think that pretty much covers it. My kidneys have issues. I lost my gallbladder. Don't have my gallbladder. So if you're trying to say, hey, I know how to restore your health, you got to restore your gallbladder health. I lost that a long time ago. Why? Because it was inflamed, infected, and about ready to rupture. You're like, gallstones. That was gallstones. No, it was not gallstones. No gallstones. No gallstones. No gallstones. It was just inflamed, infected, and about ready to rupture. It was three times the size of a normal gallbladder. Nobody knows why. Nobody knows why. I have a lot of issues with my blood vessels. They like to collapse. So much fun. Yes, don't even get me started with IVs and intravenous lines. They collapse. And let's see what else. My joints also dislocate. That can be quite painful. They are pretty positive. I shouldn't say that. Let's revamp that. They are sure that I have a connective tissue disease. With that connective tissue disease, again, is that related to mitochondrial disease? We don't know. So I have a connective tissue disease. I'm trying to think what else. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. But mitochondrial disease basically affects every single aspect of my life. Whether it's trying to fall asleep, I get so overtired, I can't sleep. I don't know if you have this, but there are days when I just can't sleep. I can't sleep. And I'll be up for almost like a week. I can't sleep. I just get so overly tired. And it happens a lot, especially in the hospital. I don't sleep in hospitals that much. I can't. I just get bad sleeping cycles and I can't sleep. It does happen at home too. And then there are days where I just sleep. And no, they're not really related. Like, the times I don't sleep, I will not suddenly sleep. I don't. It's just times I won't sleep. And then finally I start sleeping. And then maybe a month or two later, I will just sleep for a couple days. Just go to bed. Don't really do anything. Just sleep because that's what I need to do. So it affects my sleeping. It just affects everything. Let's see what else. My eating, because of my chronic pancreatitis, I have to be very, very careful what I eat. Also eating, big thing. You are what you eat. I'm sorry if you don't like to hear that, but you are. So for mitochondrial disease, I found out that I need to eat organic. Very important, because non-organic food has a lot of pesticides. Those pesticides go into my body. They go into my liver. Oh my goodness, they destroy my liver. They make me so sick. Plus my mouth breaks out. My tongue swells up. I get mouth sores. Oh, I just get so sick. Tummy aches. Non-organic food, we don't get along that well. It's not pleasant. And I just get very sick, very fatigued. My muscles will hurt. I get terrible tremors, headaches. So it is very important what I eat. I stay away from sugar. I eat a very limited amount of fruit because I find sugar um, really gives me bad headaches, really bad headaches. And people sometimes think I'm hyper because of sugar. And I'm like, no, I am just hyper because sometimes I just get a burst of energy, like especially after I take my mitochondrial disease supplement, which helps your body produce energy. And I'm like, sometimes like, oh, I got some energy, and then crash. That's my life. I crash and burn a lot. I'm trying to think anything else. I don't know. It just affects me a lot. Oh yeah, I forgot. I also have ptosis. That's the big fancy word for droopy eyes. So if you look, I don't want to point it out, but this eye droops more than this eye. And sometimes when I get really tired, my both eyes will droop, but this eye will almost be shut. I'm like, I can't see. Like it gets really bad. Thankfully, I try to make sure it's open. And even doing these YouTube videos, I get so self-conscious because this eye will start drooping. And I shouldn't tell you that because now you're going to look at my videos and be like, oh yeah, I see that eye drooping. She was quite tired that day. Because sometimes I'm like, I'm not tired. I'm not tired. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Open. My eye just will close. Oh, I feel so terrible when that happens. So I'm trying to like, look alive, look alive. Oh, that's another thing. I often look really pale too, so look alive. Come on, look alive, look alive. And sometimes I have allergic reactions, which is that part of mitochondrial disease or not? Not sure what that's part of. But anyways, I sometimes have allergic reactions, so my face gets very flushed. And sometimes because my schedule, I have to shoot. So sometimes I'm like fighting an allergic reaction. People are like, you look so pretty with makeup on. I'm like, not makeup, allergic reaction, but thank you. Yeah, I do have some color because it's allergic reaction. Thank you. I know, it's funny. I think it's funny, actually. I don't think anything this is negative. This is all good, all good. Anything else? No, I don't know. So that's pretty much how mitochondrial disease affects me. It affects every aspect of my life. My muscles, that's a big one. All my organs pretty much are affected. So thank you so much for joining me. Please remember to like and subscribe down below. Please also remember to comment and share. It really helps my YouTube channel. Oh, yeah, forgot. I hope you have a great day and a wonderful week. Bye. Oh yeah, my smell I don't think is affected. And my taste. So smelling and tasting. Okay. Praise be to God. I can still do that, right? So I just need to look everything and smell everything. And people will just think I'm really weird, which they already do. So anyways.